Hello, ladies. So today we are on day 16 and it is called Consider Yourself. So today we are going to consider ourselves. Not to be, reductive or anything, but today we are definitely going to dive into the less, foodie aspect of health and wellness. And we are going to dive into the act of considering ourselves, right? So, what I mean by this is like that weird nudging thing, like in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I have to do this thing, or, oh, I really need to get rid of, etc., whatever. Like that kind of thing that you kind of like keep putting off in your mind, and you're just like, ugh, and it's like low key draining your energy like over time, and it's just like, insidious. It's just really in the back of your minds, in the back of every moment, at every minute, but it's like something you're not paying attention to at that moment because you're, washing the dishes, but it's there. You're driving, to work and it's there. Or like, just doing any random mundane thing and that thing is there, right? And it's just like low key just draining you, right? So this is the thing that we're actually going to acknowledge, right? So no, this is not giving into terrorism. This is actually you acknowledging an innermost desire that may be popping up that you may not necessarily be considering, not to overuse that word, but this is something that wants to be seen by you. It's not necessarily meant to be terrorizing you or, bugging you or just getting on your last nerve. That's not really what the intent here is. Here we are looking at something that is really rooted in something so precious and so, beautiful, and something to actually just consider in a way that's more fleshed out and more given more time, right? So for example, you might be experiencing a relationship that is it's just giving you that slow boiling irritation, like you're not really sure what to do about this particular person. Like you just know that they bring something up in you that doesn't feel really good. This might be going on for like weeks or months, and in some cases even years. Sometimes it gets to that point. So the best way to really avoid any chaos that may ensue from this, little thing in the back of her head is not necessarily tackling it first. Like that's not really realistic. If it's something that you haven't already addressed, it's probably because, you have other things that may be a priority to you, or you may have convinced yourself it's not a big deal. Sometimes that happens too. And, what we'll want to do here, like, is just kind of ask yourself, like, what if you scheduled like weekly time to just journal it out about that particular relationship? What if you added some type of, equilibrium to that relationship? Meaning like you sat down and you just really, sat with them and heard where they're coming from, not particularly about any particular issue, but just seeing like what they're about, because you may not necessarily be familiar with that person anymore. Someone might have changed their mind on something and not necessarily updated you, just things like that. Just getting in there with that, or maybe taking some systematic way to give that person the boot. I don't know, it may take some time. You never know until you actually consider what's going on with yourself, right? So in doing so, you've addressed the issue, and you've essentially like, Kanban or Kanban, I don't remember how you say it, but that like project management process, you're like mentally Kanbaning it in your minds. You're managing this issue, right? So you're putting it in your mental priority to-do list, and you can truly discover the extent of the problem that you're having. Whether it is a problem or not, this thing may be affecting your life and your well-being. Like I was saying, it may be genuinely draining your energy because you're constantly thinking about this issue and you're giving that energy, but you're not actually doing anything about it. So it's constantly just in the back of your mind draining you, right? So in order to address it, you're going to want to discover the true extent of the problem, like I was saying with the journaling, maybe talking to that person about something relatively unrelated, just like slyly getting, what they're actually thinking about in that moment. And also getting more information on what to do. Like, obviously, those things can help you, kind of parse out what's going on and things like that. So you're also going to be able to discover what the desire is, that innermost desire I was talking about, to help you identify the problem, to begin with. It may be, I want to feel safe, emotionally safe in my close personal relationships. Or if it's work, I want to be able to trust my colleague to prioritize this project, role, etc., whatever it may be. It's, along those lines, you may be seeing that that's really the primary issue, and you can work from there. There are any number of things you can do, but obviously we're not going to get there if we're not actually acknowledging it when it is giving us a problem, right? So some women, they're naturally good at this, saying, hey, cut that out, I don't like that. Or there are the women who aren't really, prioritizing standing up in that moment more impulsively. There are women who are falling on the spectrum of that. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It's just what it is, right? And we should also consider that most women haven't really been socialized to, be assertive, in that way all the time. And I'm not sure how many women really have the energy for that, of course, because there's so many things that we're all responsible for, right? A lot of women are caregivers, they're career havers, they may be in a primary relationship, there may be a time of life that they're in that may be taking a lot of their energy, so certain things are taking the back burner. There are any number of reasons why a woman may not address something right away, and that's just life. It's just reality. There's no problem with it. It's just, if we're becoming the more enhanced version of ourselves, it's something to definitely consider getting better at, So I would, if you do want to get better in this process, I would get a journal, okay? Because this is just honestly a lifesaver in so many ways, just getting the journal, because specifically for this, we're going to pretty much figure out what problems can be handled in the short term, and then what problems can be handled in the long term. Because some things, like cleaning out a closet that you haven't cleaned out, that can literally be done on a weekend. Like, you have like 30 minutes after this thing and between that appointment and that one. That's something you could easily just get done, and then it is off your to-do list. You are no longer having it eat away in the back of your mind. That's a short-term thing. And then a long-term thing would be more like the example that I gave, which is that person that's just, it's not a great match, and you're just trying to figure out how to make it better, make it neutral, or, let it go, So that's pretty much all I've got for you today. That's the end of day 16. Yes, consider yourself. And I hope you are having an amazing day. The eclipse is coming up. There's a Venus retrograde. There's so much going on. I strongly consider going within right now. I'm definitely going within myself, and it's definitely an eye-opening time. And I hope that if you're watching this in this current retrograde or a future one, I have no idea, or another eclipse, that this helps you then too. But in any case, at any time of the year or the month, I hope that you are doing well and that you are considering yourself. All right, bye.